Ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention right here, right now, because what I'm about to say isn't just another motivational soundbite, it's the raw truth you've been starving for. We live in a world where everyone's got an opinion about your life. They'll tell you what you should do, what you can't do, what's impossible. And you know what? Most people are addicted to the sound of their own excuses. But you are not most people. You're here because a part of you knows there's something greater inside, something powerful, something unstoppable, and it's time to unleash it. Listen to me closely. The fastest way to lose your life is by living for the approval of others. The minute you start looking left and right, comparing, explaining, justifying, you hand over the keys to your destiny. Enough of that. This is your life, your dream, your mission. And it doesn't require a public service announcement. Every day we are bombarded with the pressure to conform, to fit in, to be liked, and to seek validation from others. We scroll through social media, we interact in groups, we constantly look for external confirmation that we're doing the right thing, that we're on the right path. But here's the truth that most people avoid confronting. You will never fulfill your true potential by living for the approval of others. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you held back on something, hesitated to make a bold move, or stopped yourself from taking a leap because you were worried about what people would think? The fear of judgment, the fear of failure in front of others, the need to be accepted. It's all a form of self-sabotage. The more you seek approval, the more you lose sight of what you need, what you want, and what you are capable of. If you are constantly looking to others for validation, you are giving them control over your choices. You're essentially allowing them to dictate the course of your life. You start to live based on their opinions, their values, their beliefs, and you lose touch with your own unique power. You begin to compromise on your dreams to fit in with what's considered normal or acceptable. But that's not the path to greatness. The path to greatness is to boldly stand for what you believe in, even when others don't understand it, even when they doubt you, and especially when they criticize you. The most successful people in history, the ones who left a lasting mark on the world, are the ones who dared to walk their own path without waiting for approval. They didn't look around and wonder if their family, friends, or peers would approve of their vision. They didn't ask for permission to follow their dreams. Instead, they trusted themselves. They trusted their instincts. They believed in their ability to figure it out even when the path wasn't clear, even when the risks were enormous, even when the world didn't understand. It's essential to realize that approval from others is a temporary fix, like a quick high that wears off. The feeling of being validated, of being liked, it doesn't last. You may feel good for a moment, but as soon as the next opinion comes along, you're back to square one. If you build your life on the foundation of approval seeking, you will forever be chasing an empty goal. You need to ask yourself, what do I want? Not what does my friend want, not what does society want, not what does my boss or my family want. What do you want? What are the things that make you come alive? What are the things that get you excited, that pull you toward your highest potential? Once you stop seeking validation, once you free yourself from the need for approval, you take back control. You become the creator of your own life. You stop letting others dictate your choices, and instead you make decisions that align with your true desires and purpose. You step into your own power and embrace your uniqueness. You stop holding yourself back because of fear of judgment, and instead you start moving toward the future you envision for yourself. One step at a time, one bold decision at a time. When you focus on yourself, your growth, and your vision, the opinions of others no longer matter. Their judgments are irrelevant because you are too focused on your own trajectory to be distracted. You stop explaining your dreams to people who will never understand, and instead you focus on the work required to bring those dreams to life. The world is loud. It's full of distractions, opinions, noise, and clutter. Everyone has something to say, everyone has a platform, and most people are more than willing to give you unsolicited advice on how you should live your life. But here's the truth that most people refuse to acknowledge. The best way to make a lasting impact isn't by talking about it, it's by doing it. It's by putting in the work when no one's watching, building your vision when no one believes in it, and creating results that speak for themselves. There's a reason why the most successful people in the world don't feel the need to boast about every single step they take. They understand that actions speak louder than words. Anyone can talk. Anyone can make promises, make plans, and tell people what they're going to do. But how many people actually follow through? How many people actually show up day in and day out and do the work required to turn their vision into reality? The difference between talkers and doers is not in the words they say, but in the actions they take. When you focus on doing the work in silence without needing to shout about it, you set yourself apart from the masses. You stop looking for validation or applause. You stop chasing recognition. Instead, you put your energy into mastering your craft, refining your skills, and building something that matters. You do the work because it's what you are meant to do. You do the work because you are driven by a purpose that goes beyond seeking the approval or admiration of others. Here's the beauty of moving in silence. Your results will eventually do all the talking for you. When you commit to your vision, when you work relentlessly behind the scenes, when you show up every day and give it everything you have, the world will start to notice. The people who doubted you, the people who ignored you, the people who criticized you, they will eventually be forced to acknowledge the power of your work. They won't be able to deny the results you've created. They won't be able to ignore the success you've achieved. This doesn't mean you need to hide forever, but there's a season in your journey where you need to focus purely on the process, purely on the execution, purely on developing your craft. You need to silence the distractions and the noise and immerse yourself in the work that will move you forward. You need to become obsessed with getting better, with improving your skills, with doing the work that will lead to success. And you need to do it without constantly talking about it. In a world that's obsessed with instant gratification and validation, there's something profoundly powerful about staying focused, staying silent, and staying consistent. People may not see your progress right away. They may not understand why you're so dedicated, why you're putting in the time when no one is cheering you on. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are doing the work that will ultimately speak for itself. And when the time comes, when the world finally sees what you've built, it will be impossible for anyone to deny your achievements. Remember, the most powerful people in the world don't have to constantly announce their success. Their success announces itself. Their results speak louder than any words could ever do. And when you choose to move in silence, when you let your results make the noise, you set yourself on a path of unstoppable momentum that no one can ignore. Personal growth is not a casual pursuit. It is not something you can dabble in when it's convenient or when you feel inspired. Personal growth is a commitment. It's a decision to dedicate your life to becoming better every single day, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the obstacles, and regardless of how you feel in any given moment. It's about knowing that the person you are today is not the person you have to remain. It's about constantly striving for more, not because you're dissatisfied with who you are, but because you know that growth is the key to unlocking your fullest potential. Personal growth is the most important investment you can make in your life. Every great achievement, every success story, every breakthrough begins with a single decision. The decision to change, to evolve, to take responsibility for who you are and what you want to become. And that decision must be backed by relentless, consistent effort. This is where most people fall short. They set goals, they get excited for a while, but they don't have the discipline to see them through. They don't have the grit to push through the tough times, the failures, the moments of doubt, and the days when progress seems impossible. Discipline is the force that keeps you going when motivation fades. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is the foundation of lasting success. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions of life, the noise, the chaos, the demands of other people. But if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you need to focus your energy on what truly matters. You need to protect your time, guard your energy, and direct your attention toward what will move you closer to your goals. And that requires discipline. It requires you to make choices that serve your future, not your momentary desires. It requires you to say no to the things that hold you back, no to the distractions, no to the things that make you feel good in the short term, but take you further from your true purpose in the long term. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing yourself past your limits, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and doing what others aren't willing to do. Personal growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you choose it. It happens because you decide that you will not be satisfied with mediocrity. It happens because you are willing to make the sacrifices that are necessary to build the life you truly want. But here's the thing, personal growth isn't just about gaining knowledge or achieving external success. It's about transforming who you are at your core. It's about becoming someone who can handle more, someone who is stronger, wiser, and more resilient than they were yesterday. Growth is a process. It requires you to step into discomfort, to face your fears, to break through the limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long. It requires you to embrace failure as part of the journey, to see setbacks not as roadblocks but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. When you commit to personal growth and discipline, you set yourself on a path of constant improvement. You stop settling for good enough. You stop allowing yourself to be complacent. You demand more from yourself. You push yourself to be the best version of yourself. And when you focus on that kind of growth, the kind that challenges you to be better every single day, everything else falls into place. The results you desire, the success you dream of, the impact you want to make, it all starts with you. It starts with your commitment to personal growth and your unwavering discipline to stay the course. Doubt and criticism are inevitable parts of life. If you are stepping out of your comfort zone, pushing for something more, or striving to achieve something great, they will come. They will come from others, from the world, and most painfully, from yourself. But here's the secret. Doubt and criticism are not your enemy. In fact, they can become your greatest allies if you choose to use them the right way. You have a choice in how you respond to doubt and criticism. You can let them hold you back, weigh you down, and keep you from moving forward. Or you can use them as fuel, as powerful, motivating energy that drives you towards success. The reality is that doubt and criticism are often a reflection of the fear, insecurities, and limitations that others have. When people criticize you, they are not necessarily attacking you. They are projecting their own fears, limitations, and beliefs onto you. They criticize what they don't understand. They criticize what challenges their way of thinking. They criticize what makes them uncomfortable. Understand this. Criticism is a sign that you are doing something worth noticing. If you weren't pushing boundaries, if you weren't doing something that made people uncomfortable, they wouldn't even bother to criticize you. So take it as a sign that you are on the right path. Doubt works in a similar way. When you start questioning yourself, your abilities, or your choices, it often means that you are facing something unfamiliar. It means that you are stepping into new territory, and the uncertainty triggers your mind to ask if you are capable, if you are good enough, or if you will succeed. But doubt is not a signal to stop. It's simply a signal that you are pushing your limits. Every time doubt creeps in, it's an opportunity to dig deeper into your belief in yourself. It's an opportunity to stand firm and tell that doubt, I am capable, I am worthy, I will succeed regardless of how I feel right now. Rather than letting doubt paralyze you, use it as a reminder of how far you've come and how much further you can go. Instead of allowing the voice of criticism to shrink your confidence, let it fuel your desire to prove them wrong. When someone doubts your ability, let it become the fire that drives you to work harder, to get better, and to show them just how much you are capable of achieving. When you face criticism, use it as a reminder that you are standing for something important, something that challenges the status quo. Most people run from doubt and criticism. They avoid situations where they might be criticized or feel insecure. They retreat into the comfort of familiarity, never stretching their limits, never testing themselves. But the greatest success stories, have come from those who did not fear criticism, did not succumb to doubt. Instead, they welcomed it, used it as the fuel for their fire, and proved to themselves and to the world that they were capable of more than anyone thought possible. Doubt and criticism are powerful tools, but they only have power over you if you let them. When you learn to transform them into fuel, they lose their ability to hold you back. They become the catalyst for your growth, the stepping stones that push you toward your highest potential. The next time doubt creeps in, the next time someone criticizes your efforts, remember that you have a choice. You can let it drag you down, or you can use it to lift yourself up. Let it be the motivation you need to keep going, keep fighting, and keep proving to the world that nothing will stop you from achieving your dream. In a world that constantly demands instant gratification and recognition, there is a profound power in working in silence, in choosing to toil away without the immediate reward of applause or praise. Most people want to be seen, to be acknowledged, to share every move they make. They crave validation in the form of likes, comments, and attention. But the true game changers, the ones who build something of real substance, know the value of working quietly, of developing their craft behind closed doors, without the noise of the world distracting them from the task at hand. When you work in the shadows, you give yourself the space to grow and develop without the pressure of expectations. There's no audience watching, no one judging your progress, no one questioning your every step. This is where true mastery is built. Mastery isn't achieved in the spotlight. It's honed in the quiet, in the hours of practice, in the countless failures that no one sees. It's about getting better every single day, not because someone is watching, but because you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself. It's about the discipline to show up, to push yourself, and to keep moving forward, even when no one notices. The beauty of working in the shadows is that it allows you to make mistakes, to fail, and to learn without the weight of others' opinions bearing down on you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right the first time. You have the freedom to experiment, to explore, to try new things, and to fail without fear of being judged. When you're not seeking constant validation, you give yourself the permission to grow at your own pace, without being influenced by the pressure to conform or to be seen as successful. While others may be chasing the spotlight, trying to make noise and show off their every move, you're building something solid, something that will last. You're creating a foundation of success that doesn't require validation from anyone else. The work you do in silence will ultimately speak louder than any words ever could. It's easy to be caught up in the desire for recognition, to think that if people don't see your progress, then it's not worth doing. But the reality is, the real winners are those who are willing to stay humble, to stay focused, and to keep their heads down while they build something extraordinary. Eventually, when the time is right, when the foundation is strong and the results are undeniable, you'll step into the light. And when you do, it won't be about you bragging or showing off. It will be about the world recognizing the magnitude of what you've built. The results you've created will speak for themselves. The success you've achieved will be so undeniable that no one will question your worth or your ability. The spotlight will find you, and when it does, it will shine on your work, not just your word. The difference between those who are remembered and those who are forgotten is often not about talent or skill, but about the ability to work quietly, to keep the focus on the process, rather than the recognition. The true winners are the ones who are willing to stay in the shadows long enough to build something that will shine brighter than any spotlight ever could. They understand that the greatest victories are won in the trenches, away from the noise, away from the hype. When you learn to work in the shadows, you create something real, something powerful, something that will endure long after the spotlight fades. There's a moment in every journey when you must make an irreversible decision. The decision to go all in, to commit to your vision with everything you've got, and to stop making excuses or seeking permission. That moment is now. It's not tomorrow.
It's not when things are easier. It's not when you've figured everything out. It's right now. You must decide without hesitation that you will become unstoppable in your pursuit of greatness. You don't need to explain your vision to anyone. You don't need to justify your actions to the doubters. You don't need permission to follow your dreams. You just need to decide. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to start. They wait until they feel ready, until they have all the answers, until they have the resources, or the support they think they need. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is no magical time when everything aligns perfectly, and all the stars are in place. For the most successful people don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it. They take action before they're ready. They move even when they feel uncertain. They press forward, even when the path isn't clear. Being unstoppable is about committing to the process and believing that you will figure it out along the way. When you decide to become unstoppable, you stop letting anything stand in your way. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming external circumstances, other people or situations, for where you are in life. You stop allowing fear, doubt, or the opinions of others to hold you back. You take full responsibility for your journey, for your results, and for your future. This is a mindset shift. It's a shift from passivity and waiting to action and empowerment. When you decide to become unstoppable, you give yourself permission to move forward no matter what. The power of this decision is that it comes without the need for validation or external approval. You don't need anyone else to understand your vision. You don't need anyone else to believe in your dream. This is your mission. This is your calling. It's personal. And the more you chase validation from others, the more you allow them to control your path. When you decide that you will become unstoppable, you stop looking for anyone's approval. You stop needing explanations or justification for why you're doing what you're doing. Your purpose is clear. Your commitment is unwavering. And that's all you need. This decision to become unstoppable means you will face adversity, and you will face it head on. You will face criticism, rejection, failure, and disappointment. But these will no longer stop you. They will no longer break you. Instead, they will become part of the process, part of the fuel that propels you forward. When you decide to be unstoppable, failure isn't a roadblock. It's a stepping stone. Rejection isn't a deterrent. It's a lesson. Every setback becomes an opportunity for growth, for learning, for improving your approach. The most powerful people in history, the ones who changed the world, were the ones who decided with absolute certainty that they would not be stopped. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't ask for approval. They simply decided that they would go after their dreams with everything they had, and nothing would stand in their way. They didn't need to explain themselves. They just went to work. Now it's your turn. Decide right now that you will become unstoppable. Commit to your path without hesitation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop seeking permission. Stop justifying your actions. The time to act is now. And once you make that decision, you will find that the universe aligns itself to help you achieve your vision. You are ready, you are capable, and you are unstoppable.